How's it going, guys and gals? This is Anthony, and today we're here for the WWE Survivor Series 2024 predictions, which, as you may know, Survivor Series is tomorrow live from Vancouver, Canada. And we have 5 matches on this card as of right now. Remember, they may say something on SmackDown last minute, but remember that tonight's episode of SmackDown was taped last week, so if you don't want some spoilers about some things that may happen on the men's War Games match, get off the video and watch this video after 10 p.m. Eastern. That's all I'm gonna say. If you don't want to get spoiled, but if you don't care about spoilers, hey, enjoy. We have 5 matches on this card. Obviously, here's the poster for the main event, which I think it's obviously the main event of this show, the men's War Games match with the OG Bloodline getting CM Punk on their side to face against the, the new Bloodline and Big Bronson Reed. We also have the women's War Games match. We have and then we have 3 title matches: the triple threat for the IC title, the Heavyweight Championship match, and kind of a last minute match, which I think shouldn't be on this pay per view. I think this match could have been better for Saturday night's main event, but some complaints I'll say it when the time is right, when I start talking about that match. So, if you like this type of content, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right in. And as always has been the tradition under Triple H's regime, the show will kick off with the Women's War Games match. Obviously, here we have Team Morgan, Team Liv, which is composed of the Women's World Champion Liv Morgan, WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax, and both of their lackeys, Raquel Rodriguez and Candice LeRae, respectively, and Miss Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton, face against Team Mommy, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Naomi, one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, Bianca Belair, and the last minute replacement for Jade Cargill, which was announced on last week's episode of SmackDown. It was announced Monday, but it was announced for the live crowd last week on the tape episode that's gonna be tonight. So I knew about this since Friday. So this was spoiled Friday. They made it official on the live episode of Raw. As you may know, last week episode of SmackDown, Jade Cargill got attacked on the parking lot during Bianca Belair's Women's US Championship match tournament quarterfinals. And she saw what happened, and she saw Jade on the throne. She left the match. Left Eos, not Io, but left Blair Davenport and Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green took advantage, kill switch, or the Emperor, however you want to call it. 1, 2, 3, the people pop. Chelsea Green has to win the Women's US title on Saturday night's main event. I don't give a damn. It has to be a heel. And obviously, Bailey has been looked with the side eye by Bianca Belair, thinking she was the one that attacked Jade. Although I think we all know it was. I think at the end it's gonna be Bianca Belair, which surprises me, but I think that's where they're gonna go. they're gonna turn Bianca heel, which I didn't expect. I thought it was gonna be the other way around. It was gonna be Jay turning on Bianca, so that's a great plot twist. That's a great plot twist. I'm loving how they're building the story of Bianca attacking Jade, and they're doing this whodunit mystery. Although we know it was Bianca, I think it's Bianca Belair by the end of this because that's the match for WrestleMania 41. So it's gonna be revealed that it was Bianca Belair all along because she got jealous of the storm is coming hype entrance that Jade Cargill always has, and then she always and then she's always the second one to enter. That's jealousy, people. That's called jealousy. That's called having a huge ego better than her, I mean, bigger than her husband's testicles and her ovaries and fallopian tubes. So I'm loving that they're starting to build WrestleMania 41 from now. And we are in November and we already have kind of an idea of what matches we're gonna have at WrestleMania 41, which it's awesome. My prediction here, I think the heels win here because, as always, if the babyface, I mean, in the two times that the women's War Games match has been on the main roster, the babyface have won. But for this story, Bailey has to gain the trust of everybody on her team. Like and I'm talking about Io and Bianca because Rhea, as she said on Raw, she doesn't give a damn. She just wants to destroy Liv Morgan. What a shitty teammate, though. I mean, let's talk about this Rhea and Liv storyline because I think Rhea is the fucking heel in all of this, and Liv is the babyface. And I like Rhea. But if you really think about it, she was abusive to Dominic. She gave him a Stockholm syndrome. She beat him into submission, and that he had to join Judgment Day. Like from a criminal and psychological standpoint, Rhea is the villain here, and they're building her up as the babyface, which doesn't make sense. But hey, this is wrestling. Remember that Kane essayed Lita in storyline to give birth to his seed, and then Snitsky practically made Kane into a good guy offender, and then in the feud with Edge, he was the good guy offender. Remember that? As always, the offender is the good guy in WWE. No wonder Vince McMahon liked those storylines. Oh, wait. He allegedly was one. Allegedly. Allegedly. Okay? The trial has not happened yet, so allegedly. Allegedly. But now that I took that detour into why I hate the Leaf and Rhea storyline from a criminal and psychological standpoint, I think something's gonna happen that Bailey is gonna sacrifice herself for the team, just like he did last year. But remember, last year she sacrificed herself for damage control, but she was a heel. I think to gain the trust of her team during the match, she may sacrifice herself, and that may cost them the match, but she'll gain the trust of everybody. Because remember, it's been 5 years. She was a heel for 5 years. So she has, and now she's back to being a babyface. Obviously, from a logical standpoint, some people in the locker room that she did bad things to are gonna be mad. Like, for example, Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair, especially the last 2 years, was the biggest. She was the biggest rival for Damage Control, and now Damage Control on Raw are baby faces, and now Bailey on SmackDown is a baby face. So That's a good dynamic to have because remember in January, Damage Control turned on Bailey. I mean, the battles that Bianca and Bianca and Bailey have had for the last 3 years. Because if you remember, they were gonna wrestle in Money in the Bank 2021, and then Bailey tore her ACL. She came back a year later with the formation of Damage Control, and that feud never really had a payoff. If you really think about it, I I mean, in a way they did, but it was a ladder match, which was pretty good on Extreme Rules 2022. But I mean, one is that they never really had that. Okay, me and you one last time. You know what I mean? So I'm loving the dynamics here. Obviously, Bailey and Naomi. Remember how Naomi has been looking at Bailey when she was champion, and also how the way she's been looking at her for the last 6 months, ever since Backlash. Naomi's attitude has been this in a heel turn. So we need to see how all of these pieces fall together because the dissension on the babyface team, I think for the first time under Triple H's regime, the heels will win this match. But Tiffany Stratton is gonna get tired of it and she may snap and cash in the Money in the Bank contract. I think Tiffany at the end of this is she's gonna turn babyface or she may cash in at Saturday night's main event. It's either here or Saturday night's main event that TV time is gonna cash in. That's my prediction. It's either here or Saturday night's main event. But yeah, I think the heels win here. And now let's talk about a match that I think shouldn't be on this pay-per-view, but I guess it is over a match that should have been on this pay-per-view, but I digress. See how much WWE cares so much about this match that I couldn't find a graphic on WWE.com and I had to go to SE Scoops to get these graphics, hence the awful quality. So if WWE doesn't care to put up a graphic of this match, why should I care either? It's for the United States Championship LNI defense against Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura came back on the November 15th episode of SmackDown, attack LNI, and then last week he spat the mist on LA Knight after he defended the US title against Santos Escobar and also attacked him. We saw the promo before that match where Shinsuke gave his reasons as to why he was targeting LA Knight. But man, 2 week build up and it's a pay-per-view match. I would have I would have let this match for Saturday night's main event. And instead I would have put here either a traditional Survivor Series elimination match between the Final Testament and The Miz versus the Wyatt Six, or hell, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. I would have put it here instead of Saturday night's main event. I understand that you need a big match. I understand. I understand. But damn, 2 week build up. I mean, the I think LA Knight's gonna retain, but hell, if you wanna give me a reason as to why Shinsuke Nakamura came back and targeting LA Knight, he better as hell win the US title on Vancouver. He better be. Because if he came back and he loses just like this, I'm sorry, but it's like, why are you wasting a pay per view match? Why are you wasting a pay per view match when you could have had uh, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens or Final Testament versus Wyatt Six, which are stories that have been building up for at least 3-4 months. What the hell? What the hell? Enough talking about this match. Let's continue. A match I'm pretty interested in, But guess what? I had to go to the Wrestling Observer newsletter to get a custom graphic because WWE did not even bother to put one. At least this match makes sense because this match has been building up for 4 or 5 months. Be between these three gentlemen right here. It's the triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship where Braun Breaker defends against Ludwig Kaiser and the Celtic Warrior Sheamus. Obviously, as we know, in July, Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser were having banga after banga after banga. And then Braun Breaker interfered in that match, speared them both, and in the process of spearing Ludwig Kaiser, he broke a couple of his ribs, and he's been out of action since, and just came back a couple of weeks ago where he attacked both Braun and Sheamus on the November 18th episode of Raw, which was taped on Veterans Day. So that's a little excuse me. That was a little excellent thing to do because makes sense. Braun broke Kaiser's ribs, and now he came back and attacked him. He was in the middle of a feud with Sheamus when he got injured. Now he attacked him. Makes sense. He wants to destroy these two people that he has hit with. Perfect. You see, this is a match that deserves to be on this pay-per-view. And as I'm saying, Sheamus, the story here is becoming a Grand Slam champion. As I've stated before, the injury time, the ongoing feud with Sheamus. He's here for payback in the case of Kaiser. And Braun Breaker is building his way to become he wants to be one of the greatest IC champions of all time. I think these three guys may steal the show. And I expect nothing less from these three guys. They may steal the show. Kaiser is great. Sheamus is almost 50, but he moves as if he was 26. Braun Breaker is young, and he's gonna spear the hell out of these two guys, and he'll retain the Intercontinental Championship. And now on to the next one. I think this may be the semi-main event, a SummerSlam rematch for the World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther defends against Damian Priest. Okay, where do I begin here? I've been critical of Gunther's promo work ever since he became champion because that's his only weakness. And I'm gonna keep criticizing his promo work. I know the storyline is ever since he lost to Cody on Crown Jewel, he doubts himself. He's been doubting himself. But also his outer reign has been about to fix his mistakes. For example, he lost the IC title to Sami Zayn on WrestleMania. He beat Sami Zayn and retained the World Heavyweight Championship. Also, he beat Damian Priest under sketchy circumstances when Finn Balor turned on Damian Priest. So here, he wants to prove that he can beat Damian Priest fair and square. On the build-up to this match, Damian Priest has been looking dominant. Gunther has been looking like a doofus, and especially his promo work that doesn't help either because he's awful on promos. And this is a guy that doesn't want to do media appearances. And now I like Gunther, but I also need to say it like I see it, okay? Because I'm being mad with some of the build-up for this pay-per-view, which I think build-up wise, this is the worst Triple H show. In the 2 years that Triple H has been in charge, this is the worst build-up Triple H pay-per-view. I need to say it out loud. Gunther is awful on promos. This is a guy that doesn't want to do media appearances, doesn't want to do interviews unless it's for a marked podcast, that appreciates his in-ring work. He's a mark for himself. And by the end of the day, he has to learn how to do main event level promos on the spot because he didn't care about it on the indies. And Triple H is pissed off at him for being uh for not being a drawing champion ratings wise. Because when Gunther's on screen as a world champion, ratings go down the drain. But I like Gunther, but I also need to call it like I see it. My GOAT is Shawn Michaels. But Shawn, ratings wise, was awful as champion. We need to talk about it. Bret Hart the same way, and I love Bret Hart. But obviously those two guys were 10 times better ratings wise, merchandise wise, and drawing attendance wise 10 times than Kevin Nash when he was WWE champion because Diesel sucked. Okay, so enough of this rant. I'm sorry, but I need to get stuff off my chest. And I like both of these guys. Obviously, Damian Priest, he's Puerto Rican just like me, so obviously, this may be some bias, but man, I would love Damian Priest to be World Heavyweight Champion once again because he's proving himself to be a main event player. Gunther, promo wise, I mean, Gunther works like a main eventer. He looks like a main eventer, presents himself like a main eventer, but doesn't do the promos of a main eventer. Man, my girlfriend was ranting also with Gunther's promos ever since he won the title. She's been like, man, where is Kaiser? I know Kaiser had broken ribs, but golly, shut up, Gunther, and have Kaiser do all the talking. And I'm like, yes, 1,000 times yes. Have Gunther shut up and have Kaiser do all the talking. Have Kaiser do all the talking. And also, they've been starting to build this dissension between Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. Let's see where that takes us. Will this have any involvement with this match? Also, the comment that Finn Balor made about Damian Priest is already back on the hunt for the World Heavyweight title with the Judgment. They have something to do with this match. That's another thing we need to see. But I think this match will be pretty good. The match at SummerSlam, it was pretty good. It was stiff. They beat the hell out of each other, and I expect nothing less on this one. It's just that Gunther's promo work pisses me off. Because as a world champion, you shouldn't be doing mid-card level promos as the world heavyweight champion. That's my only problem with Gunther. And I hope that he sees this and takes it as constructive criticism. Because I love your work and I want you to keep your spot, okay? Now, let's talk about the main event. After some technical difficulties, we are back, and now let's talk about our main event. The OG Bloodline and CM Punk takes on the new Bloodline and Big Bronson Reed. The build-up for this match started on WrestleMania 40, where Cody Rhodes finished the story, and the SmackDown after, Solo Sikoa took matters into his own hands, where he said winning and losing matters, right? And he attacked Jimmy Uso with the debuting Tama Tonga. Then those two guys started feuding with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, which made official a street fight for Backlash, where Kevin Owens was pinning Tama Tonga trying to pin Tama Tonga for the win. The Tonga Loa interfered and gave the new Bloodline the win. Then backstage on that same show, Jey Uso was face to face with the new bloodline, and Paul Heyman looked at him scared. As we move to Clash at the Castle, where Cody Rhodes retained the championship in an I Quit match against AJ Styles. He got confronted by this bloodline, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Solo Sikoa, and they started attacking him. And obviously KO and Randy came for the save, which made the match at Money in the Bank official. A six-man tag, but during the build-up of that show, Tonga Loa got injured in the eye, and we had the debut of Jacob Fatu, which was the third man in that six-man tag team match against Rhodes, Orton, and KO, which they won after Solo Sikoa pinned Cody Rhodes, getting himself a WWE Championship match at SummerSlam. Obviously, the Bloodline interfered in that match. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, back then, they were the tag team champions at the time. So KO and Kevin Owens fought them off, and Jacob Fatu interfered. Then he splashed Cody through the table, and also at the same time took himself out, which left Solo Sikoa with no help when Roman Reigns returned to do the right thing and even the score for Cody Rhodes to retain the title. And then they looked at each other, starting the build up for Bad Blood for the match between Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu versus Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. On the process of that build up, Cody Rhodes once again retained the WWE Championship against Solo Sikoa in a steel cage match. Obviously, we had that excellent segment on the Georgia Tech football field, and that segment was great. And obviously, we had the match between Roman and Cody versus Solo and Jacob, which, with the help of Jimmy Uso, who fended off the Gorillas of Destiny by himself, Roman gave the spear. Cody splashed Jacob Fatu on the announce table the same way Jacob did to him 4 months prior. Everybody got their payback here. Roman and Cody won. And after this match, the Bloodline as sore losers started attacking Cody. Jimmy and Roman came for the save, and the show went up the air with the return of The Rock. And also, all of this led to the fan footage of Kevin Owens' heel turn. And Solo Sikoa said something very interesting, which I think is going to affect the result of this match. Is when Solo Sikoa said, when he saw The Rock appear, he said, "It's all going according to our plan." That's what he told Jacob Fatu on that fan footage. So is The Rock going to be involved here? I think The Rock may do an appearance, since he's doing nothing. He may do an appearance here. He may do it. And obviously, during the coming weeks, on Crown Jewel, the OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline. I mean, Jimmy, Jay, and Roman on Crown Jewel face against Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Solo Sikoa, which led to the victory of the new Bloodline. Practically a clean victory. It was a clean victory of Solo Sikoa pinning Roman Reigns, which was the correct result at the time. Sami Zayn, after the match, came for the save and accidentally kicked Roman with a haluba kick. During this process, the new bloodline cost Jey Uso the Intercontinental Championship, and then Sami showed where his loyalty lied, helping the OG bloodline, making this a fair fight 4-on-4. The week after, Solo said, let's go to War Games 5-on-5. Each one of us, each team has to find a fifth member, which the new bloodline found pretty quickly when they showed that they chose Bronson Reed as their fifth member, which left the OG bloodline with only four members, and they had to find one more guy to even the odds. They were asking everybody from Rey Mysterio to Alien Eye, which they wanted nothing to do with because they've had problems with the bloodline in the past. They asked Seth Rollins, and he said that he would never team up with Roman Reigns ever again, but also never with a Roman Reigns wannabe, which led to the new bloodline costing Seth Rollins a match against Bronson Reed. And obviously this past Friday night this past Friday night on SmackDown, Solo Sikoa gave an ultimatum to Roman Reigns: surrender or else. Obviously the bloodline said, we go to war, we will be together until the end, because I don't want to say a word that may get the video age restricted. And when Roman was about to say what he thought, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman came back. Obviously, I didn't forget this detail, but I just wanted to say it here. Excuse me. 4 months after he was put through a table on Madison Square Garden during the build-up of Money in the Bank, Paul Heyman comes back. And he says that it's not gonna be 4-on-5, it's going to be 5-on-5. And then that was a horrible drums. That were some horrible drums for Cult of Personality, but CM Punk coming down the ramp, taping his fist, and he's ready for war. They beat up the new bloodline, GTS and Spear in sync on stereo. The bloodline throws up the ones while CM Punk does the sleeping pose with Paul Heyman happy as an acorn, happy as a talking walrus on the ring apron, while CM Punk and Roman Reigns, before they had a tense moment where CM Punk told him, I'm not doing this for the bloodline, I'm doing this for the wise man. But as you can see, Paul Heyman was not dressed as an advocate. He was dressed like Solo Sikoa at the beginning of this new bloodline. So is Paul Heyman gonna turn? Will The Rock show up? I mean, this could be. I'm having really second thoughts on this show because this could be a really babyface heavy pay-per-view, but I can also see it being a heel heavy pay-per-view. But if you already had the heels winning on the Women's War Games match, the babyface have to win here. And I think CM Punk pins, he pins Tonga Loa. That's my prediction. CM Punk pins Tonga Loa. As always, guys, those are my predictions for Survivor Series. If you like this type of content, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Yesterday, mine was great. Remember, Cherish beautiful moments with your family. Bury hatchets, create beautiful memories because life's too short, but memories last a lifetime. As always, this is Anthony signing off. Bye bye.